Hey guys, this is Catherine and this is Little Bits of Heaven Homestead. So this is a video that I feel really passionate about making, and yet I'm also pretty hesitant to put this out. I know this is an emotional subject, this is not an easy subject, and this is probably one of the things that new homesteaders are most trepidatious about. It's taking a life of an animal, harvesting it for meat. So if this is a subject that bothers you on an emotional level, if it's going to be disturbing to you, please skip this video, as I definitely don't want to put anything out there that will bother you. But as homesteaders, this was the one thing that I was most nervous about. I am a homesteader, I am a meat raiser, because I feel passionate about the health and well-being of my animals. I had debated going vegan because I was concerned about the living conditions of the meat that we were consuming. I felt like it was almost, I don't even know how to describe it. I felt hypocritical eating grocery store meat and caring about animals. I spent my whole younger life, wanting to be a veterinarian. I did work at a vet clinic for several years, and I've actively been a homesteader for about the last 6 years, just under 6 years, and it was meat that really pushed me into this. It was the health and welfare and well-being of the animals that I was consuming that really put us here. It's easy to grow a garden. You don't feel guilty harvesting a zucchini. And there shouldn't be any guilt involved with harvesting meat either. We do this because we love our animals. We ensure happy lives. Those are my peas. So I don't feel bad about harvesting meat. It's not easy to take a life. And so as I went on this journey, I really researched different methods of the actual dispatch. I polled my homesteading friends, and we've tried several methodologies. This is the method that we've come to feel most comfortable with. And again, there is no real comfort zone, nor should there be. I've got bugs flying around. As far as harvesting and dispatching an animal. This chicken happens to not be mine. It belonged to a friend of mine. She lives down the road. She has a tender heart. Can you eat that bug flying around? So she has such a kind and tender heart. And she is a chicken breeder. She's a rare breed chicken breeder. And most of her chickens live really happy lives. And she, just like any homesteader, farmer, rancher, is concerned about the welfare and well-being of her animals. She contacted me and says she has an abundance of roosters, and she herself cannot dispatch her animals, and I can't blame her. There are some of us that we just emotionally can't get over that, and I understand it. I don't have a problem with that. No condemnation and criticism from me. And in fact, on our personal journey, I said if I can't look our animals in the eye and harvest them, I'm questioning whether we should consume meat at all. And so it's a journey for sure. So again, if this bothers you, if this topic is something that is going to be an emotional thing for you, please skip this video and move on to other happier subjects. But for those homesteaders that are new to this, that are uncomfortable with the idea, that have never processed an animal for meat, that is looking for a humane and quick way to process them here on the homestead, I wanted to share our information because I know that I turned to YouTube looking for ways to dispatch and process, and so I want to share what we've come to as far as our method. So again, not easy, not fun. It is an isness of meat. So this guy here, what I'm going to do is the method that we have chosen is called broomsticking. And I don't actually use a broomstick. What I do use is a piece of rebar, and it's cervical dislocation. And there's several methods to do cervical dislocation. This is just one of them. But what I do is I lay the animal down on the ground, and then I put a piece of rebar. Whoop, sorry buddy, you're okay, I'm sorry, I won't do that to you. But I put the rebar right behind his head, right behind the skull, and you need to commit. This isn't something that if you second guess and question yourself in the actual process, you have the potential to make your animal suffer. So when you do this, you need to commit to doing it, pull and pull hard. So what your goal is to separate the cervical vertebrae here and it will be an instant and painless death. So I do the same method with rabbits. I do this with our ducks as well. Oftentimes in younger animals, their head will pop right off. I'm okay with that. In fact, that's my preferred because they tend to bleed out really quickly that way. And you absolutely know beyond a doubt that they have passed. So one way to check an animal when you do this method is to poke them in the eyeball. I know that sounds terrible, but you're looking for some sort of response out of the pupils to verify that they are dead. If the animal blinks, if you get any sort of response, you didn't do it hard enough. So you need to keep that in mind, but that is one way that I do check. So we are all about happy lives and our animals only having one bad moment, and this is it. And this guy, you can see he's relatively calm. He's not stressed, aside from when I was scratching on the back of his head. He's not my chicken. He doesn't know me. And so this situation is a little weird for him, but you can see that even being not my animal, he's calm. He's not freaking out. He's not used to being held, so that's a little weird for him too. But if you put your animals under stress, their system will flood with adrenaline, and that can taint your meat. So keep that in mind. We did have a butcher here in town, and we sent a pig to her, and we vowed never again, because it put our animal under stress, getting it loaded up into the vehicle, getting it hauled into town, getting it unloaded in an unfamiliar environment, and that was just totally the opposite of my goals. And so again, we said, if we can't look them in the eye and we can't process them, we need to really second guess and have a hard discussion about our meat sourcing. So here we go, guys. Please, if this is going to bother you, please turn this video off now and move on to happier things. But this is an isness of homesteading if you are raising for meat. This is meat. People who buy at the grocery store, chicken, this is where it came from. So you can't pretend that an animal didn't give its life in some way, shape, or form just because you buy at a grocery store. So here we go. I do want to say a quick prayer for this animal. We do pray over all of our animals before we dispatch them, and we have tremendous respect for these animals, as anything that goes to nourish our bodies is respected here, whether it be our plants in the garden or even the smallest of creatures. So we are thankful for them, and we want to ensure quality life from beginning to end. So those of you who are not praying type, just stick with me here, because this is something I feel strongly about. So Father, I just want to say thank you for providing the opportunity and the skills for us to be able to harvest our own meat, to provide for our family. I pray over this chicken, Lord, may his death be swift. May my actions be intentional. May I have the strength to do what needs to be done. And may this be painless as possible. It's in your name, Jesus, I pray. Amen. Okay, guys. So I'm going to have Joe, my husband, he's standing here to the side. He's going to point the camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing, just so you know what to expect. I will put the rebar behind his head. I'm going to lay him down first. You can see he's really calm. I'll put the rebar. I need to put pressure, so I will step on both sides, and then I'm going to use his back legs to pull, and that will break his neck. There will be some flapping. It's not because he's still alive. It's just electrical impulses firing through the muscles. So there will be, and that goes for any animal, and humans included. We have muscular response after death. So don't be alarmed by that. It's normal. So don't be alarmed when you see it here, and don't be alarmed when you see it on your own homestead. So it's a little freaky at first, totally natural. Okay, guys, here we go. So I've got my rebar down here. You can see it. And I'm going to lay the animal down. You can see he's very calm. Put the rebar right behind his neck. And that's it. So he's going to flap for a minute. that's it, guys. So he is gone. I felt his neck pop. I have no doubts that he is dead. This flapping, totally natural, and it'll go on for just a moment. So I'm not going to show you the butchering process in this video. I am hoping that YouTube will monetize me at some point, and I know that this video in particular will not be monetized. Just for your information, I have talked to animal control. I do know that this is not considered animal abuse or animal cruelty. I have been told directly from animal control that harvesting livestock is permitted. And, hold on, in fact, our local Humane Society not only knows that I do this, they place livestock with me when it comes into the Humane Society. So for any of you who may have concerns about this, you can reach out to your local animal control and ask them questions, but harvesting livestock is legal. It's not cruel. So let's see, what else do I have to say? I think that's really it, guys. So I hope this was of help to you. If you have any condemnation or criticism, please feel free to leave it down in the comments. I came to a place of peace of this on my own journey, and I do understand that it is emotional, it's not easy. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll see what I can do to help you out. I hope this was of help, guys. We'll talk to you later.